So that means now we have to let's draw the table first. Remember one thing, in the LN1 parsing table, in the row we put all the non-terminals, and in the column we put all the terminals including the dollar. Although the dollar is not terminal, but we still put that. Now why we put that, that you will understand later. So let's draw the table first. Uh, so first of all, how many non-terminals is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 non-terminals, and total number of terminals is ID star, ID plus star, opening brace, closing brace, and dollar. Dollar is not non-terminal, but still. So total number of terminals is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including dollar. So let's draw this first. Mm, let's draw a table. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do one thing. Let's write the name non-terminal names here. So it is E. Suppose it is E dash. It is T. It is T dash. And it is F dash. And this is ID. This is plus. This is star. And opening brace and closing brace and dollar. Now what is my intention for designing this technique? Remember, what is the use of this? For example, you see, question is that among all these production rules, in which cell we will put all these production rules? Always remember, it's like we have a, as I told you, that we have a string. Now to generate that string using these production rules, what basically you have to do? For example, E to TE dash, where this production rule will be used? Obviously, when you will find that you have, for example, ID and opening brace. Now why I am saying ID and opening brace? Suppose you see, if you have ID at the end of the string and maybe many more other characters are there, but you see, since ID is present, so that's why there is a possibility that, and and this is the first character, right? So this first character is generated by which terminal? By T, because you see first of T is ID. Obviously you can say that first of F is also ID, but just for timing I'm taking first of T because this production rule E to TE dash have the first character capital T and first of T is ID and opening brace. That means wherever you will find ID, there is a possibility to use this particular production rule E to TE dash because this capital T can generate ID as the first character. That means which production rule we will put in which particular cell, that depends on what is the first of that particular production LHS of that particular first character of the LHS. Sorry, first character of the RHS. For example, E to T dash. Where I will put in the first of T, and first of T means ID and opening brace. That means E to T E dash I will put over here. Dash here as well as here. Similarly, E dash 2 plus T E dash. That means where this I will put. Obviously, this production rule can be used only when you will have a plus as the first character. That mean in case of plus, I can put under E dash row under plus column, I can write E dash 2 plus T E dash, this particular production rule. But question is that where to put this E dash to lambda? Always remember why I use lambda. We use lambda to basically vanish a particular non-terminal. During a process of derivation, if we start from a symbol, say for example, we start from E, and ultimately when E dash encountered, and if I don't want to explore E dash any more, then we can write E dash to dollar. What does it mean? Whatever this path will be totally vanished in the original string, because lambda doesn't have any physical existence. That means in case of any production rule where you have epsilon or lambda at the end, in that case we consider what is the follow of E dash, because you see what is the follow of E dash? Follow of E dash means closing brace and dollar. That means I can use this particular E dash to lambda only when I will find there is a closing brace at the end. After this, then only I can try to use this, so that E dash is following this, E dash is followed by this closing brace. That's why this E dash to dollar will be used somewhere here as well as here. Similarly, I think now you can understand where this T to FT dash you can write. Obviously, in the first of F, and first of F is ID and dollar. So definitely T to FT dash you will write over here. ID and opening brace, right, somewhere here. T to FT dash. And you see again T dash to star FT dash, same thing T. So star is the first character, so definitely wherever there will be a possibility to generate star or multiplication sign at the beginning of the first character, there I can use this particular production rule, T dash to star FT dash. And then what this T dash to lambda can be used? T dash to lambda can be used in the follow of T dash. Follow of T dash means plus closing brace and dollar. That means T dash to dollar, T dash to, sorry, dollar, not dollar, T dash to lambda and T dash to lambda here. And F to ID, F to ID can be used obviously in the first character where ID is there. So wherever I find ID, I will reduce this ID to capital F using F to ID, this particular production rule. And similarly, the first of is also F2 opening brace, E closing brace. The first of F is this opening brace, that means F2. If I find a situation like this, there will be a possibility to use this particular production rule. So this is a way by which we can design this particular, you know, uh, LL1 parsing table. So this is a way actually by which we can design LL1 parsing table, which can be further used for, you know, to check whether a particular string within a, to check, say, whether syntactically a particular string under a under a particular language which is following a grammar is correct or not. So I hope how you can at least put, how you can fill up the table is little much more clear, but it is not clear that how particular this table is being used by the compiler to realize whether a particular string is in the language. To do this, we have to take a simple example, and we have to see that how we can do that using the stack that already you have seen in the previous class. That LL1 parser use a stack and also the parsing table. So we have designed this parsing table, and we have suppose we have a stack in our hand. Now we have to see how we, using this stack, we can design the LL1 parser.